It's been a long time since I have been talking to him. I have discussed cars, F1, memes, everything with him. He's a big Dodge fan and is famously known as God Pro Ultra Max on Instagram. He has a good amount of knowledge regarding high performance cars and lots of knowledge regarding motorsports. So we have tried to break down his journey with cars and F1 on this episode of Shift with Motor Drift. So welcome Hyde Bhai. Glad to have you on the podcast.
Hey,
So this is a question which I ask all of my guests. Describe your journey of becoming
yes.
a car guy.
So I think this is kind of common, but I've been a car guy since I was probably 10, but not exactly the kind of car guy the other people were.
Mhm.
Uh, so basically, I used to love cars. I used to love seeing them. I knew how to like. I knew what the shifter was, the
Hmm.
gear was,
Hmm.
before I knew how to say banana properly. So I was very interested in driving and all, and but I was never really a proper car guy.
Hmm.
And social media spread my influence like over the top. So basically, from ninth grade, since I was 14,
Hmm.
proper introduction to cars. Uh, till then, I was just your uh, average kid who liked cars.
Fanboy.
No, not till then. Not till
So, was there ever a phase in which you became a fanboy? Like the Supra fanboys have a phase in their lives.
not a Supra fan. I came into the car scene when I was intelligent enough, if I can say that. So, um 14, right? So
Hmm.
I knew how social media was. I knew how social media worked,
Hmm.
and so for 15 days, I thought it was ultra tunable, so cheap, and it was cheap. I thought you used to find it on the roads for like 5K and stuff. And I was like, how have I not heard of this car from any of the other serious car guys before? I checked Google.
Hmm.
So full expectations
Shattered.
slashed there. Yeah. But ever since I uh, saw the Fast and Furious. That
Hmm.
was pretty early. Dom's Charger. That was always my favorite car. It was never a supercar, never a hypercar, like never.
Hmm.
It was Dom's Charger.
Hmm.
So
Basically inspired by the earlier Fast and Furious series, not the later one.
yes, yes, not the later ones, not the later ones. Till three.
Hmm. So, tell me something about the car that sparked the interest within you. The car that started that whole
Yeah,
journey. As you said, it
yeah.
was Dom's Charger. Tell me something
yeah.
about that car.
So usually whenever parents used to go out, I never studied. They used to tell me to study. So basically it was normal. And once I came across this clip on YouTube, 2009 I guess.
Hmm.
I was just searching cool cars and all, and then I saw Dom's Charger and how it did the wheelie against his Supra. Yes, yes. That was the car that was for it. That was it. That was God Pro Max Ultra level car.
The special moment where they both jump off in front of the
Yeah,
train.
yeah, yeah.
Sick. Now, have you ever spotted performance cars?
Yes, a lot, a lot.
Name all
Even
of them and your experience.
2013
Hmm.
uh, was the end of the year. I had gone to Paris auto show. Uh, I had seen the McLaren F1 B1. Um, I went Aventador. Uh, I think the Porsche 911.
Mhm.
Um, Veyron Super Sport, and I never really heard them because they were inside and they didn't turn it on. But I saw all of them. I didn't have a proper knowledge about cars at the time, but
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd seen those, and then like I got to sit in them. Epic, epic experience. There were a few vintage MDs,
Hmm.
Mercs, and a few vintage Jags.
Hmm.
Out of the vintage cars, favorite um, SL300. SL300, I guess. The one with the curving doors. SL300.
God.
Absolutely beautiful. Exactly. Absolutely beautiful.
Hmm.
So that was the first time I saw proper high performance
Hmm.
car, and then recently I shifted house. That time I didn't know that there
Hmm.
was a car nearby. Roaming around, I saw an R8. It had stopped. The driver got in, he revved it, and it was a modded R8.
V8
I
or
think he
V10?
spoke to V8, V8, the
Hmm.
first gen V8, and yeah, absolutely beautiful. It was modded on top of that. He had a twin turbo setup on it, new exhaust. Uh,
Hmm.
absolutely beautiful.
Twin turbo R8s are, like they have a
Exactly.
different type of cult
God level
following.
status.
Hmm. And they are the cars, they are the cars which actually own Tesla Model S at drag strips.
Exactly, exactly.
Now let's talk about Dodge.
Yes,
If we talk about,
yes.
the current motoring giants, Dodge would probably be the number one or number two in America. So, like,
Yeah.
what are your opinions on the path on which Dodge is heading towards?
They're putting Hellcats in all the cars they can find. Leaves a big smile on the face. I'm hoping I see one.
Hmm.
That's and also there's news about the 2021 return of the Viper. So rumors, not exactly news, but
Rumors.
rumors. Exactly. Mm, so I'm wishing that comes back.
Hmm.
Even if they make hybrid cars, I don't want them to stop chucking the Hellcat into them.
Hmm. What I want
So
from them, like in the form of a Viper, is to retain that V10.
exactly.
Don't put in a
Probably,
Hellcat motor.
probably, uh, probably put in a bigger like give it more displacement, do whatever you want, but keep that V10.
I don't guess, like they will give it more displacement because, like as the emission rules are getting stricter and stricter, engines are just getting
Yeah,
smaller. So, like the reverse
yeah,
happening is just not feasible as of now. Instead of
exactly,
8.4 liter, we would, like we would we would want a 6.2 liter or something like that. That would be good enough for us.
exactly,
But we just wanted to make more power.
exactly.
645 horsepower in the last gen, at 700 in this one.
Yeah, that's the peak of American sports cars. Absolute
Dodge,
peak.
yeah, like Dodge has been putting the Hellcat engine in probably every car that they can find. So, do you think
Yeah.
that they are doing it right, or it's just not the right strategy?
I don't know about strategy, but they're retaining their customers. That's for sure.
Hmm.
They're retaining the customers, and they're getting new customers with the Hellcat.
Hmm.
They have the Hellcat in all three: the sedan, the muscle, and SUV, and
Hmm.
even the pickups.
Hmm.
Uh, if they put it in a hatchback,
Hmm.
obviously it's going to be a dead trap.
Hmm.
But if they do it, they can pretty much capitalize the car enthusiast market.
Hmm.
And I don't think they'll put it in a hatchback because of the limited space and how big the motor is.
Hmm. But like
But I
first
think,
time when Aston Martin, like they put out the thought of fitting their 4-liter naturally aspirated V8 in a Signet, people were like, "How
yeah,
are you going to do that? That is a
exactly,
micro car, not even a hatchback." But they
exactly,
did it. Ingenious.
exactly.
Engineers are the magicians. So, like they can do whatever they want. Just give them some time. Now, if I was thinking about that if Dodge uh, thinks of pulling out a minivan with a Hellcat engine, do you think that a minivan as a product will actually succeed or it might fail? They were,
Not
like
sure.
much
Yeah,
renders
yeah.
going around as well.
Yeah,
Huh.
the Pacifica Hellcat.
Uh,
I'm not sure, to be honest,
hmm.
because minivan, it's always a soccer mom car. Unless you want it to be a sleeper, I don't think anyone would put that much power in a minivan.
Hmm.
So I don't think they'll do that.
Hmm. But the
Mm,
way it
pretty
looks,
skeptic.
it
Yeah, it
it
doesn't look like a
like a
sleeper.
sleeper. It doesn't look like a sleeper. You would
Exactly.
automatically know that it it's hiding something under the hood
Exactly.
that will
Exactly.
get revealed at the drag strip.
Yeah. So I think I remember one of the Mercs, the olden day Mercs,
Hmm.
which was really fast, to be honest.
Hmm.
6 seconds minivan, a 6 second minivan or something. Oh no, it was a Volvo. It was a Volvo, sorry, not a Merc. It
Hmm.
was a Volvo 6 second minivan. If Dodge does something like this, I don't think they directly put the uh, Hellcat motor because they already have a V6 version. I
Hmm.
think they'll go up the and first they'll put a 398, then a Scat Pack
Hmm.
motor, and then the Hemi, uh, like the 6.2 liter
Hmm.
The Hellcat motor.
Hmm.
So I think
That's all
that
they will
might
do.
be the strategy. Yeah,
Hmm. Let's see if they do it or not. Well, I wish they do it.
yeah,
Like
exactly,
another Hellcat car, I won't mind it.
exactly.
Now, Dodge had made the last iteration of the Dodge Viper ACR back in 2017, and most of the people in
Yeah,
the world regard it as the best car that America will ever make. Me too. Do you think it is
same.
worthy of that title?
I do. I do. No matter how much the Camaro has been hyped up,
Hmm.
with
The
being made with
Mustang
the
as well.
better engine, yeah, the Mustang as well,
Hmm.
they're not as track focused as the Viper. The
Hmm.
Viper is it has suspension so stiff. If you go in in the country roads and all,
Hmm.
you'll actually shatter your bones.
Hmm.
And then so much downforce uh, with that front splitter and the rear wing.
Hmm.
It's supposed to take corners like a beast. Like so, I don't think they'll ever go ahead of that car like
Hmm.
any other manufacturer
Hmm.
unless Dodge creates another Viper.
Hmm. And like there are still records that have been set by the Viper that have still not broken,
Exactly.
that have still not been broken, even with cars who have like 100 or 200 horsepower more than it.
Yeah.
And it's all about that engineering.
Yeah.
Everything from it, yeah. The 8.4-liter pushrod V10.
Yeah.
You can't like it has more engine capacity than a Bugatti Chiron.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you put
That's like
yeah.
uh, the peak, the peak,
Hmm.
even the sound, the
Hmm.
looks, the
Hmm.
engineering behind the car, the
Hmm.
way they produce that lift,
Hmm.
sorry, the
Downforce.
downforce, yeah, the downforce,
Even the small,
too
small
good.
things. That 6-speed
Yeah,
manual. Who doesn't
yeah,
like a manual?
exactly. They could
Six-speed
have made it
manual.
faster with an automatic, but no,
Hmm.
they had to go for it because it's a driver's car.
It has always been about the maximum driver
Yeah,
focus engagement, and it did it very well. And that wing
exactly,
looks like a two-story building.
exactly.
Do you know the length of that wing?
No, not. I think it's over 2 meters or something. Not sure.
It's 1,776 mm. 1776. Did you get that?
Yeah. Wait, I said 2 meters. I was okay. Yeah, it's less than
1776
2 meters.
mm.
Oh my god.
1776 mm. Focus on
One point.
1776. What happened in 1776?
Not sure. Something with America. That's for sure.
America got freedom.
Oh,
And the length of the wing is exactly the same. How American it could be.
it's more American than that national anthem.
These little things make the Viper one of the best cars. One of the best, sorry. The best car America has ever created, without a doubt. Even
Exactly.
if there comes a Mustang with 1000 something horsepower, it still won't be able
Yeah.
to the beat the legacy that the Viper has left.
Yes. Exactly.
Now, Dodge recently launched the Challenger Superstock. It's basically a demon
Yeah.
with 1 horsepower less and without the demon crate, but it's said to
Yeah.
be the car that is going to carry the legacy of the Dodge Demon. So does it have the capability to carry the demon's legacy?
I don't think so. The
I
Demon
don't
had
think so.
1040 Newton meters of torque. This thing has 800 something. So if it needs to carry the Demon legacy, it should have more than that.
Hmm.
Yes, they're advertising it as a car which gives 1 horsepower for every $10. Like
Hmm.
$10, you get a horsepower. That's true because
Hmm.
it's 80 something thousand dollars. But it needs the torque more than the horsepower. It needs the torque.
Hmm.
So if it had the same torque or even a little bit more,
Hmm.
I would say yes, it would qualify. Otherwise, no.
Hmm. Moreover, I didn't even like the name Superstock. Doesn't sound that cool as like demon.
Yeah, Demon, the Hellcat, the Viper.
That sounds cool.
They're known for their names and the step they messed up.
This is Superstock, super tuned.
Yeah,
They should come up with a better name, I guess.
yeah, actually. I even like their 1000 horsepower elephant name.
Hmm.
I mean,
Heli-
it's a hell elephant.
hmm.
And
Sounds too
the names they come up with,
childish.
yeah, it sounds childish, but it sounds like a super villain out of a childish movie.
Yeah, it sounds like a two 6.2 liter engine strapped together to make something the size of an
Yeah,
elephant. That's what
exactly.
I imagined the first time I heard it. What do you think of Ford when you compare it to Dodge?
Uh, I'm the Ford CEO, whoever it is, and a Dodge is in front of me.
Hmm.
I would give up in front of the Dodge, even if I was in the top Mustang with a new supercharger plus twin turbos together.
Hmm. Damn.
The demon, 9.6 seconds stock, obviously with the crate, with the
Hmm.
stuff from the crate.
Hmm.
But still, that's not much of a difference. Even if it doesn't use the crate, it goes 10.1 seconds,
Hmm.
which is like too good for a stock car, and it pulls wheelies. Mm, respect.
Again with the demon as well. These small things like you
Yeah,
get the demon crate for $1.
exactly.
Yeah,
one
and then
dollar.
you get
That's
those
how
super
much they want
sticky.
you to have it.
Yeah, and then you get those super sticky tires, and then you change
Yeah,
the filter, and then you
yeah,
go into those settings. 840
yeah.
horsepower available at your command. So
Exactly.
the drag strip is yours.
Exactly. And that
You
too,
know,
it's stock. It's
yeah.
stock. That's the
Hmm.
best part. Oh,
Hmm.
and also the other three seats, other than the
Hmm.
driver's seat,
Hmm.
are also $1 option. That's how try hard Dodge was going,
Hmm.
and I respect that.
Hmm. If I were going to buy a Dodge Demon, I would remove all the seats except the drivers. All the
Exactly.
seats. Weight savings.
Exactly.
These small things, when they go together, make Dodge so much special than Ford, which
Yeah.
Ford doesn't focuses on. Ford focuses more on just the brands that they have already set up, just like
Yeah.
leveraging their
Yeah.
brand like the Mustang, which has been
Yeah.
established in the world.
Yeah.
Now,
Also, to all the Ford fans out there,
hmm,
we don't hate the cars. We just prefer Dodge.
yeah, of course, we don't have a hate towards any manufacturer out there. Yeah. Now, the next question that I have for you is that
Yes.
a few months ago, Ram came out with the Rebel TRX, an off-road pickup truck with a Hellcat engine, and now Ford is coming up with a 2021 Raptor that's coming for the Rebel TRX. Do you think the Ram uh, Rebel TRX is going to get owned by the Raptor? I think so.
I think so. Yeah, even I do because 770 or 760 horsepower compared to
764.
707. Yeah, 764 compared to 707.
Hmm.
You can't do much against that. But as is Dodge's motto, they'll
Hmm.
put the red eye engine too. They'll put the Hellcat red eye engine too.
Hmm.
As soon as they're done with the R&D depart.
Hmm.
So I think as soon as it gets the Hellcat engine, because it's lighter and has all that experience with that engine,
Hmm.
it'll be faster.
It will be faster, but as a pickup truck, the basic functionalities of a pickup truck, Ford is going to win.
Yeah, Ford is going to win because this is for the enthusiast, and Ford is making it for like everyday driving, and even
Hmm.
even for the Baja.
Hmm.
They even made the stock Raptor go against the Baja track
Hmm.
and survive it. Ram, I don't think they'll ever try to do that. It's just mainly more power.
Hmm.
Uh,
They are just like,
Tesla's,
more power, baby.
yeah, exactly.
That's just Dodge's motto. But like in terms of engineering trucks, Ford is.
Yeah, Ford is god level in that.
Hmm. If you take in, the suspension, the brakes, and the modes that have been set up in the Raptor, it's like a proper rally truck.
Yep.
You just wear a suit, go
Yeah,
into rally, and you will probably even win it. In
exactly.
that's how great of a vehicle it is. Even though like Ford was pushing that EcoBoost V6 at that time, if they hadn't had that EcoBoost V6 push, they would probably have put in a V8 in it as
Yeah,
well. Yeah,
yeah.
but it
Also, I think
was.
the main reason they
Yeah.
did that was because the V8 couldn't handle Baja,
Hmm.
the Baja 1000, because they were
Moreover,
developing it from
yeah,
there.
the weight transfer, the heavier the
Yeah,
engine, the
yeah,
front would have got more squash and probably caused
yeah,
an accident.
exactly,
So they were like, okay, now let's go with the V6, the perfect engine, the perfect weight distribution, the perfect Baja truck, Raptor.
exactly.
And it sounds, like funny though, the Raptor going for
Yeah,
the T-Rex when it should be the other way around in the dinosaur world.
exactly, exactly.
Now, um, let's like, what's been your best and the most unique spot till date that you just want to see again, but you might probably not ever see it again?
As in,
Car spots.
uh, car sports, I don't exactly have any because uh, like as I told you,
Hmm.
I joined the proper car scene recently. I
Hmm.
didn't been in the car scene until 2008. Okay, wait, till nine. So
Hmm.
that's basically 2 years back.
Hmm.
Uh, I think 2017. Yeah,
Hmm.
2017, mid 2017.
Hmm.
Wait, that's 4 years back. So 2018. I'm sorry, I messed up with my dates.
No
But
worries.
mid 2018. Yeah.
Hmm. So don't you have any car culture there at the place where you live? A car culture, some groups or something as well.
Not much here because it's towards the north of Bangalore. There's a lot of retired people and old.
Oh.
The car culture in north is still growing.
Oh.
It's still not yet grown to that level, but it's still
Hmm.
growing.
Hmm. Because in cities like Delhi and Bangalore, there are like specific supercar convoys that move every day. I have seen a few, so I can say that from experience.
Yes,
Now let's move towards hypercars, especially towards the SSC Tuatara. What are your views on SSC faking the world record?
I don't know. Actually. I think it might be an honest mistake,
Hmm.
but cause they have done it before, and the power to weight ratio was really impressive.
Hmm.
1.5 horsepower per kg.
Hmm.
That's like a proper record.
Hmm.
So I think they just didn't get a proper run, but
Hmm.
they tried to hide it because they were kind of embarrassed or something.
Huh.
Because it has 1800. something horsepower,
Yeah,
right?
1700,
Uh,
1700.
17, yeah.
Hmm.
1700 horsepower. It weighs very little, very little. Uh,
Hmm.
nine
Hmm.
hundred, no, 850 or something. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think it was. Uh, oh no, wait. Why did I say 850? My math is dead. 1200 something. Uh,
Uh,
but I think that was the reason. I think they didn't achieve what they wanted to, and they kind of felt ashamed.
hmm.
Uh, they had the record before, and it was so uh, overhyped. Let me say overhyped.
10 years ago, they did it with the SSC Ultimate Arrow, and
Exactly.
I was
Yeah.
expecting the same. I was like, this company is going to
Exactly.
go for the 300-mile barrier.
Exactly. Exactly. I
And
think they didn't want to disappoint the people.
hmm.
So that's why they didn't tell the real time and they faked it.
Hmm. Moreover, if you see that video of them accelerating the car, you can easily spot the error. The car goes like a normal supercar till 200 miles per hour, and after that, it went like 200, 250, 300.
Uh, yeah,
Rather than
exactly.
it should be
It's
the opposite.
super fast.
Yeah, 0
Exactly.
to 200 was slower than it going from 200 to 300.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like saying that my car does 400 kmph faster than going. My car does 400 to 500 kmph faster than going from 0 to 400,
Huh.
and that's
That
not.
makes no sense.
Yeah, that's not physically, according to physics, that's not
Possible.
feasible.
Yeah.
That's not how the world of physics works. But they did
Even
it.
a flat earther will know that.
Hmm. And like when people analyze the record from those satellite images and all, they were like, bro, you faked it.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. They are trying to do a rerun of the SSC to Adara. I think they are going to
Yeah.
succeed, but let's see, man.
Mm.
Jared Shelby has said it that he will do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
I
know if
actually
he.
hope they succeed. I hope they succeed because
Hmm.
it's a really impressive car. Really impressive.
Hmm. I
Uh,
hope they do. I just want them to, like stay under Bugatti.
yeah. So
Bugatti
not
achieved
not not
300.
that order. I don't care.
Yeah, 304.77. I want them 304.76. The car stops. I want Bugatti to remain the speed king as long as possible. What's
I don't care about that.
hmm,
Anyone can go.
huh. Now, what do you think, is the future of high performance cars according to you? Where will the hypercar and the supercar world will be 10 years from now?
I think electric hypercars won't exist for like properly in the
Hmm,
mainstream until at least 2070 because
hmm,
electric uh, batteries, motors, and all, it's not as efficient as they're supposed to be. Yes, they're
hmm,
pretty efficient compared to their petrol and diesel counterparts, but no, they're not exactly efficient. I think
hmm,
hybrids will be the name of the game
hmm,
because it's both electric torque and
hmm,
the horsepower of the petrol engines.
hmm,
So I think that's where it will go, and
hmm,
that will also be fuel saving and all because you know how quickly the shit on empties its tanks uh,
hmm,
and all, right. Yeah, so I think this will be good because
hmm,
at least it'll be under the regulations. It'll be like this Xi'an, the 918 Spider
hmm.
and all.
What I think, that hybrids were not given enough thought. They could have,
Exactly.
yeah, there wasn't any need of, like full electric cars, full EVs if hybrids were given a thought.
Exactly.
That's what I think. Because
I think
we
Koenigsegg is
already
going in
had
the right
cars.
path.
Yeah,
Uh,
we already had cars like the Porsche 918, and it has less
yeah,
emissions than a Toyota Prius. What more
exactly.
can you possibly ask for?
Exactly.
You
That's
have a
why I think
hypercar.
Koenigsegg is going in the right direction. They have a three-cylinder, I guess, a
Hmm,
three-cylinder
hmm,
in their car with the hybrid. Remaining stuff is hybrid.
hmm,
1900 horsepower. Obviously, it's heavy, so it's not going to set any records.
hmm,
But obviously, I wish they succeed. Like Koenigsegg or Bugatti or
hmm.
SSC.
It's
any
a
of them,
yeah.
and making a hybrid hypercar.
It's a GT with 4 seats that will do 400
Yeah,
kmph.
exactly.
That's just mind blowing when you think about it. Going in a 4-seater car at 400 kmph. But it's Koenigsegg,
Yeah.
so it's understandable. Out of all the hypercar manufacturers, Bugatti surprises me the most. Then comes Koenigsegg, the company which has balls big enough to go for the leader in the hypercar segment. That's what Bugatti is. Now, um, recently the news came out that Tesla is coming to India with the Model 3. How happy are you on the scale of 1 to 10?
That's it. I'm not going to say more than that. Probably a 5 out of 10. It will spark the electric revolution in India, but it's not going to be enough. It's never going to be enough because it's for the super rich. You
Hmm.
saw the price tag, right? It's,
Yeah.
I guess, 50 lakhs or something.
Hmm.
Mm,
Around that mark.
yeah, no one's going to buy it unless you're super rich and you
Hmm.
don't know much about cars.
Hmm. Or if you are
It will
basically
spark the
someone,
revolution.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or if you are someone who basically just wants just that Tesla badge.
exactly, exactly. It'll
Most of the
spark the
people,
revolution.
yeah,
No,
no doubt
no
about that.
doubt about that. But I don't think it's gonna be a great thing
Hmm. Hmm.
to say.
We just need, a better infrastructure.
Exactly.
That's all we need as of now for electric cars. And
Yeah.
when the infrastructure will be nailed, I guess, then we can see a significant amount of Teslas on the road. Till then, Marutis are gonna rule.
Yeah.
Recently, in the hypercar world, Hennessy arrived with the Venom F5, and they claim it as the American hypercar that will actually break the 300 mile per hour mark. Do you think Hennessy has the capability to do that?
I think they should stick to tuning cars.
Hmm.
Because this thing's not a hypercar. It's just a show car.
Hmm.
No safety
Hmm.
equipment, nothing. They should stick to tuning cars. They shouldn't uh, go for the record. If they do, they should put the proper safety features, make it a proper road car,
Hmm.
and then call it a hypercar.
Hmm. What I don't like about Hennessy is that the way they overprice their cars just by tuning it. If they tune your, if they take your, like Dodge and tune it to about 200 or 300 horsepower more, they are going to charge like triple or quadruple the amount of what the car originally costed.
Yeah.
Now, they recently tuned a Ram Rebel TRX to 1000 something horsepower, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and then they are pricing it like triple what the original truck costs.
Uh, yeah.
I
It's
don't
mainly for
like,
the badge, the
yeah,
Hennessy badge. That's it.
uh, Hennessy badge and that bragging rights numbers. I have a truck
Yeah,
with 1000 horsepower.
exactly, exactly,
But what's the use if your truck doesn't perform good off road? Having too much of
exactly.
performance is also a bad thing, especially when your truck is, meant to perform off road stuff. There are lots of things that can go wrong in a truck like that, and it's mainly for just the show, not for go. How happy are you with the future turning to electric cars?
Not very, not very. Hybrid, okay, I'm happy. Hybrid, I'm more than happy, but not electric. Because first of all, it's damaging the nature.
Hmm.
Lithium mining and
Hmm.
causes a lot of damage. Uh,
Hmm.
but I don't think that's how cars are supposed to be.
Hmm.
Because the electric cars, they don't have a sound. They're only for the people who care about the environment here, and
Hmm.
like not just for the emissions thingy,
Hmm.
because they usually don't know about how harmful lithium mining is,
Hmm.
and it's definitely not for car enthusiasts.
And people who basically, hate loud cars because they can't buy
Uh,
them.
yeah.
I have seen people hating on Lamborghinis and Ferraris just because they can't buy them.
Exactly.
Yeah. And electric cars make no sound, so nothing to
Mm,
hurt your ego.
exactly.
Moreover, like you can't have a manual in that, and manufacturers are putting in fake exhausts
Yeah.
through the speakers. Enthusiasts
Everything
don't
fake
like
they
that.
do. Uh, Everything fake they do that just reduces the respect to their brand.
Mm,
I mean, Rimac, uh, salute you for making the electric hypercar without any fake exhausts or fake vents and stuff.
yeah.
Uh, but I still don't think I would buy an electric hypercar per se. Electric
Mm,
sedan for dailying, that's fine because
mm,
that's uh, it's not exactly for joyrides.
mm.
But I don't think hypercars and all
If I
should.
ever were to buy an
uh,
electric car, it would probably be the Porsche Taycan
yeah,
because of the 911 elements it has in it. It's so fun to drive. Like, when Chris Harris actually drove it, he was like, this might be the only electric car which I might ever buy just because of the fun it provides. I was like,
exactly.
completely agree. I guess Porsche will save us, or, like save some of the fun for us in the form of their electric cars.
Yeah.
Now, what can manufacturers do to make electric cars more driver friendly, according to you? More driver enthusiast friendly for us enthusiasts.
uh, Give it proper steering, not electric steering, the
Hmm. Heavy.
mechanical power steering. Yeah. Make Give it the mechanical power steering because that has a lot of feel and feedback,
Hmm.
like the one from the Swift, the first and second gen Swift.
Hmm.
That was a legendary steering, and the one from the Nissan Kicks, the current gen Kicks,
Hmm.
even that has a really good uh, steering,
Hmm.
and the ones from the Lotus cars. So give it a proper steering.
Hmm.
Uh, get out the normal gearbox, even though it's going to be less efficient than
Hmm.
just directly powering the motor. Stick
Hmm.
the motor in the gearbox and send it through that gearbox to the wheels, the power,
Hmm.
probably to the rear wheels, not give an option to all wheels, and
Hmm.
an option to disable the front two wheels. So basically, a four-wheel drive system
Hmm.
with the gearbox, and I think that might work.
Hmm.
Proper manual, that might work.
Driver's electric car.
Exactly.
Have you heard about Vazirani?
No, I don't know.
It's an Indian hypercar manufacturer who is going to be, rolling out their first EV, which is a hypercar. So, an Indian hypercar.
Go for the Indian, not for the EV.
Yeah, but I was like happy and sad at the same time. I was like, okay, India's making its own hypercar. That's great.
Exactly.
But it's an EV.
Exactly.
First, I was like, well, we finally are going to have a competitor to Bugatti, an Indian competitor.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then they came like, it is going to be electric. And I was like, F. Serious F.
The only good thing about electric cars, I guess, is
Hmm.
they uh, capitalize on drag.
Hmm.
As you know, the Model X,
Hmm.
that's the SUV, right?
Hmm.
So that has 0.24
Hmm.
drag coefficient. Its drag coefficient is 0.24, and in the I think that's the good thing about
Hmm.
electric cars because they
But
need
that's
the
the thing,
efficiency.
but that's the thing which you can achieve on IC cars as well. You just need a good designer. If you took the same designers from Tesla and ask them to design an IC car and like give them the engine specifications and all, I can
Yeah.
like guarantee you they will make a car which will have the same drag coefficient, if not better, while being an IC car. Because it's all about the design when it comes to drag on the external
Yeah,
body.
yeah.
It's all about the design.
I don't I don't think they'll do that though, because Lamborghini they retain the wedge shaped design, and that's what
Yeah,
they're famous for.
yeah.
So even
S-
if they call the designers, they'll tell them to make a
Hmm.
wedge shaped
Hmm.
car.
There are
That
manufacturers,
uh,
like Bugatti has retained their Veyron classic shape with that C line, that center lines, all of those things. Porsche has still that classic look of theirs. If you see their cars from
yeah,
50 years ago, they still have
yeah,
that, like the same look, that cute front end,
exactly.
that cute front. And if
Beetle look.
yeah, but like when I saw Porsche for the first time, I was like, man, it doesn't look like a supercar. It's so cute in the front. But like
Exactly,
later, it just grew so much on me that it later became my favorite supercar brand
exactly.
just because of their
They are
engineering.
kind of like sleepers. They always have a soft muffler in their uh, exhaust. They don't
Hmm.
make much noise, but they perform next level. Mainly because of their engine layout, because
Hmm.
it's in the back, right?
Hmm.
Easier to turn, but
Hmm.
still, it's too good.
Moreover, the thing I like, the thing which I like the most about Porsche is their focus on making cars that are truly, made for drivers. Salute, yaar, Porsche.
Porsche, Dodge,
911 GT3,
and yeah,
2018. I saw the Carfaction review. I read the
yeah, yeah,
specs.
yeah.
3-liter naturally aspirated flat six engine, 493 horsepower, around 500 newton meter of torque, and a red line of 9K, 9,000 RPM, 6-speed manual, no radio, no options, no backseat, a roll cage. I was like, that's a dream car, dream driver's car. And it's a car which which uses performance in an efficient way. 493 horsepower, and it does like 205 and 206 miles per hour easily.
Yeah,
And even if you take cars like 765 LT, they would find it able to go past above 200 miles per hour.
exactly,
And the 911 GT3 does that with 493 horsepower. So that's how you make a car efficient with performance numbers. You
exactly,
can't
exactly,
like you can't just put in just horsepower numbers and expect your car to go and break the 200 mile per hour barrier.
exactly. I had when I saw the spec sheet, I was like that. I was like, only 400 horsepower. That's pathetic.
Mm,
Even the M5 has more horsepower than that.
mm,
And once I saw the top speed and then the hot laps the car
mm,
did, I was
mm,
mind blown. Mind
mm.
blown.
No, that's what I thought when I saw the McLaren F1 on spec. Until
Ah,
I came to know about that record. Just imagine 618 horsepower, V12 engine.
that too naturally aspirated.
Yeah, that too naturally aspirated. Tell me a car which does 391 kilometers per hour with 618 horsepower. No,
None of
no
them.
car. Even a LaFerrari with 960 horsepower find it hard to go above 372 kmph. That too on the speedometer. An actual VWalk test, it might be going around 350 or 360.
Yeah,
That's how you engineer a car. Less horsepower, more efficient performance. And that's the thing I hate about electric cars. A Lotus Evija has what, about 2000 something horsepower.
yeah,
Yeah, and it might do 200 miles per hour.
yeah.
It might. That's not even sure yet that it will
The
have
impressive
enough
thing
juice
is
in
the
it.
torque.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The only thing they have is the torque and all the base
Exactly,
acceleration numbers.
exactly.
But even if you take the real world scenarios into consideration, I won't want a car like that does 0 to 60 in 0.2 seconds. I'm
Okay,
okay
that's
with I'm okay as long as the 0 to 60 time is lower than 5 seconds. That's fast enough for me. I just
that's
want it to like
exactly.
brings in smiles and smiles. That's all I want the car to give
That's why
me.
Tesla doesn't dominate the drag strip yet.
Hmm.
No horsepower, no top end, but crazy torque. If the electric cars had the top end, I think
Hmm.
they would be dominating. I think all manufacturers would have shifted,
That's what I
including
think
the
as well.
hypercar scene.
Now, if we talk about F1, what do you think the future of F1 will be?
I think bigger engines, not displacement wise. I think they'll stick to the one something liter, I forgot,
1.6
1.6.
liter V6.
Yeah, 1.6 liter engines, but I think they'll increase the number of cylinders because it's getting more efficient and it's made for testing out uh, cars, the
Hmm.
technology, testing
Hmm.
out tech,
Hmm.
and I think they'll increase the number of cylinders
Hmm.
slowly but surely, and they'll give it a bigger motor, give it a bigger hybrid system, uh, increase the fuel efficiency,
Hmm.
and I think that's where all motorsport is going to go,
Hmm.
including Le Mans, uh, F1,
Hmm.
DTM, uh,
We want the V10 era back.
F2. Yes, yes,
The era in which F1 cars actually, used to sound
sounded
like
great.
a
Yeah,
jet was passing by, a literal jet.
exactly.
That's what F1 used to be. So, Mahit, any
Luckily, that has
parting?
lived
Yeah,
on
yeah.
in the Carrera GT.
Carrera GT,
Porsche's,
Carrera
yeah.
GT.
Luckily, the V10 engines,
Hmm.
but
They were.
they didn't let it rev to 1300.
Hmm.
That's the sad part.
Well, like if someone is intelligent enough and they know how to tweak the little settings of the car, they can do it as well.
Yes.
Hmm. That's what Porsche can do as well. But let's see. There is an aftermarket car manufacturer as well that tunes Porsche Carrera GTs to like 800 and 900 horsepower. Just think about that. 800 900 horsepower Carrera GT.
Is it Singer? I don't think it's Singer too, right?
No,
Singer,
it's something like that.
right?
I I don't remember its name probably, but they tune Porsche Carrera GTs to some levels, and they have been made in a very limited numbers. They are just like what roof is to Porsche. Yeah, that's what they are as well. What basically roof does is take Porsche's car and tune it to max to have the maximum performance possible
Yeah.
from a Porsche car. That's what they do as well. They made about, I
Mm.
guess, 10 to 15 cars, which were basically a modified version of the Carrera GT with 200 and 300 horsepower more. A news came in about a year ago as well that a 17-year-old has crashed that car. Rich peeps. Rich peeps. You
I
can't do
bet
anything
he
about them.
didn't care about it. I bet he didn't care about it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so
Uh,
sad.
Moreover, a Pagani Zonda, which was, I guess, one of one, was recently crashed as well by some 17-year-old. Again, rich peeps.
Why do they let 70 year olds take that car? They should give them one of those lousy Nissan Fiat Multiplas or those Nissan Jukes with those
Civic
pathetic.
fart cans.
Uh, exactly.
Give them the civic fart cans. But they are rich peeps. Understandable. It's just, like, okay, my $2 million has been spent here. No worries.
Yeah,
I can get $3 million the next day.
exactly.
They are basically not enthusiasts. People who crash these cars. They don't actually care about the machine.
Yeah,
They actually, just see it as just another $2 or $3 million toy, which it's
exactly.
not. And that's what I don't like about them.
Yeah,
Have you seen the Bugatti Bolide?
yeah. Stunning design.
Hmm.
Stunning design.
Hmm.
It's probably the best looking Bugatti yet, other than the Type 57 Atlantic.
SA Atlantic.
Yeah. So why do I say Type 57? Okay, yeah. The
The
SC
performance
Atlantic.
numbers. Yeah, the performance
Yeah,
number on the Bolide. 1834 horsepower, and it's actually
Really
going to be a
impressive.
car that is, I guess, going to do, lap the Nürburgring in 5 minutes 23 seconds.
Yeah,
Just think about it, man. Cars are just getting so faster and faster. We are in the age of, experiencing the epitome of IC engineering,
yeah.
but we are going to experience, I
Exactly.
guess, the death of it at the same time.
I hope that doesn't come very soon. Probably another 100 years at least. It shouldn't come
Yeah, yeah.
till we pass away.
Till we
I
pass,
see.
I'm
I
like,
see. You shouldn't pass away.
yeah. Like when we pass away, I'm like, electric
Yeah,
cars, electric cars. I don't, IDGAF. You do whatever you want to do. That's what I plan.
exactly.
I plan on, like stacking up some cash, buying up some, nice V12 cars with gated manual gearbox,
Yeah,
drive them whole of my life, and then die peacefully.
exactly.
Probably with a V12 next to me. So Mahit, that will be all for this time.
Yes.
Do you have any parting word for the audience?
I know nothing. Stay happy, I guess. So
Stay happy, stay safe.
yeah, stay safe.
We
Good
will do a
talking to
longer
you.
episode in future, man. I have some
Yes, sure, sure.
plans now. Like I have seen you, what I can have with you as a guest, the questions that I can be asked, and the humorous side of you as well. So in the future episode, I
Yeah.
will like ask the questions that are specifically for you, that just you can answer them very well. That will be all for this time.
Yes. You had a great time with me.
Hmm.